بنخلي الامور ماشيه كويس. اللي علينا بنعمل عليهم يعني.
Can I start? So basically, today I'm here to talk to you about alternative methods for the current surgical education. But first, I need to talk to you why I'm talking about this. Why is looking for alternatives for the current surgical education methods, which is the Halsted method, which is assist in one, do one, and teach one. Do we need to change this kind of teaching, or do we need to look for different alternatives? So why do we need to do that, especially here in our countries and the low-income countries? So the reason this is important because according to a study which was published in The Lancet in 2015, there are 5 billion people who do not have access to appropriate surgical care, and particularly in the economically disadvantaged, medically underserved in countries such as middle and low-income countries. So this is like this. If you think about it, this is really this is a huge number, and more surgeons are leaving these disadvantaged countries to go and serve in higher income countries. So you would expect that this is going to get worse. Moreover, medical errors are the 3rd leading cause of death in the world. Imagine that. This is pretty grave and dangerous. So this gives us an incentive, a very good reason to look for alternative solutions for surgical training. So surgical training, as I said, the Halsted method, mentorship, apprenticeship. You have to shadow someone and learn from him or her, and to run around them everywhere to learn something. Try to assist as many operations. If you are lucky enough, do one. If you are generous enough, teach one. So can we keep up with this kind of model in light of this disastrous situation? Well, to be honest, no. We have to look for alternatives. We have to see. We have to keep aviation model, the aviation industry, in our mind. We have to look up to those people because they managed to adopt advanced simulation technologies, and they managed to increase safety in their industry. And despite the remarkable increase in airway traffic, the fatalities has been halved due to their adoption of technology and advanced simulation techniques. And we have to be as safe as the aviation industry. This is the medical industry, for God's sake. So we have to be as safe as the aviation industry. So what can we do to do that? So basically, there are different approaches for teaching and education. We, as Aristotle said, you have to look into thyself. You have to learn in order to learn. And so we have to I would say, visualization techniques, or it's more known as the virtual reality techniques. So there are several ways, which I'm going to briefly talk to you about right now to wrap up this discussion. So first, the first one is simply the observation and mental visualization. When mentorship is so precious and is not really that available or is not perfect. And this is a famous movie by Jackie Chan. It's called Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. He taught himself, he was underdog, he was bullied, and everyone wanted to kill him. But he managed to learn, didn't have any mentor, he managed to learn from nature, from the cats, the eagle, and the snake, and he perfected his technique and became a perfect warrior and fighter. And you've got also Mo Salah, who came here and he was talking about visualization. And you all remember the backlash that he had from the Egyptian society, thinking that Mo Salah was a snob because he was talking about visualization. Actually, they do adopt this kind of techniques in training, where you get paid over $250,000 sterling pounds per week in order to pick a ball. So this is really adopted in industries such as football and sports. The other kind of visualization which is now mode nowadays, is just augmented reality. As you can use it, as you can see, these are examples from laparoscopic surgery and bone surgery. Augmented reality is that you've got a picture which is superimposed on top of the surgical fields which are working on. You've got both the reality, the real world which you are seeing, and you've got the virtual picture superimposed on the field. And then there is also a virtual reality is a bit different. It's like you have to wear a gadget on your head and you just get completely immersed in this. So the third kind of visualization technique is lucid dreaming, which is volitional control of your actions in your dreams. So basically, you will be surprised at how extensively scientists are researching this. Even Elon Musk is trying to get to do this using his the Neuralink, if you have heard about it. So it is a big deal. It's a very big deal. So and even in artificial intelligence, they are trying to use machine learning algorithms to decode brainwaves and interpret the dreams and what you are thinking about what you are sleeping. So there is a chase to get into your mind. So you have to be careful about that. People are after your mind. And this is, if it's interesting, it shows this is how a lucid dreamer, a person who can control his dreams, look like. This is how his EOG, electrooculogram, and electroencephalogram look like. It's unique. It's unique to those kind of people, not with everyone. So I did a survey. There is a survey which can test this kind of lucidity, and I did it for 20 high-achieving surgeons. Among them is Professor Fahim Bassiouni and many other surgeons. And it was, they did score very high, as regards lucidity, because lucidity has been tested and validated, and they do have a score for those lucid dreamers. And they did really they did have very high scores as regards lucidity, compared to lucid dreamers who were studied in laboratories previously in other studies. And while I was surprised that some of those surgeons have reported that yes, in their dreams they can foresee their dreams and they can control their dreams, they can dream of themselves operating, imagine difficult scenarios. And those people I'm talking about are program managers. They are running big centers in India, in Italy, and it's really, it was impressive results. I tried to do similar kind of survey here and among trainees. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough numbers, but I would say that 71% of the people who responded used mental visualization before doing the procedure, 28% rehearsed the operation during the dream. Mentorship reliance range from 30% to 70%, 42% benefit from videos. As you can see, it's all about visualization and seeing things. So imagine videos are two-dimensional. VR and augmented reality are 3D, so they are more immersive. Imagine if this technology has been involved. So imagine that. 71% receive formative feedback intraoperatively. 71 believe mentorship couldn't be replaced, which is good news for us. 28% rely on intuition, 42 are not sure. 50% stated they rely on visualization and anatomy revision before the operation. 42% reported nightmares, dreams, related dreams. So what is the message which I want to give away? So in order, yes, those technologies are very expensive, but we need to adopt it, especially in middle and low-income countries, because as you see, we are at the brink of crisis. 5 billion people are lacking this kind of service in this kind of countries. So, and it will help us to bridge the knowledge gap. Knowledge is progressively multiplying nowadays, it's exponentially increasing. So we have to find something to learn quicker. We cannot just depend on the old traditional methods. And it's also, nowadays, we are all around safety awareness. It's all about safety awareness. This kind of knowledge will allow us to be more mindful, because we have to be safe, aware of the dangers in our environment, especially in theater, which can be very dangerous. John Freud is, he was an executive at Intuitive Surgical. I did ask him, why Intuitive? Why did you call this company Intuitive? And his reply was very interesting. And you will find details of his reply in this book, Intuitive Surgeon, which I have written down. It has been edited and proofread by Professor Andrew Gums, and it's now present online. If you want, you can scan it, and you will find it online. It's very cheap. It's less than $1. So unfortunately, I have to sell it for something. Otherwise, I would have sold it for free because I need some feedback about that. So all this, everything you will find written in this book about visualization, the techniques adopted by very famous surgeons, how do they visualize, and all this. Everything is written in this book. And before I leave, because my time is up now, why did I write this book? Because when I was in UK, I got to witness a surgeon. He's one of the finest and the greatest surgeons in pediatric surgery. His name is Ed Guy. He was carrying out dissection of a very difficult congenital aneurysm vestibular fistula. He was doing it with a scalpel, not with a knife, not with a. He didn't use any diathermy. He didn't use anything with a scalpel, and he just he knew where he's going. He just knew the way, and he's doing it with a sharp knife, and there wasn't even a drop of blood. So I was really impressed by his techniques in dissection, and I said, "Oh God, look at him, how he's operating." And there was this colleague standing next. He said, because Professor Ekpari sees everything in his mind. He's got a very clear picture of the operation before doing it. He's got a very clear visualization of the operation. So I was really fascinated by this, and I kept searching the literature over the past 5 years. How do great surgeons think? How do they do things? And they do operate differently. I mean, there are more things than being supported by mentors, having someone who will support you. No, they have other mental skills, and this is what I've been looking for. I hope I can manage to put it here in this book. Thank you.
Thank you, Turaiba. That one, Turaiba. It's an elegant lecture full of a lot of knowledge, actually. I am astonished about this lecture. I have one question only. How can you give some comment about that the third cause of this in the whole world is medical error? How come this? Some comment about this figure that 1/3 of deaths in the world is caused by medical error. This is astonishing figure.
Yes, I did get it from my source, and I'm happy to send it over to you. I did read it in the literature which I read. Medical error is a great